Cool bananas. Oh, like a sucky. All I have to do is get my trusty grinder out and cut this roof rack up. It's been welded. I can unbolt that. I took off these brackets here that were to hold a shovel and something else. Oh, a jack, yeah. So I took them off. I thought to myself, this roof rack is a really heavy duty roof rack. The roof rack that came with it is great. It's got a big platform. One thing I don't know is how to attach it. I can see there's some mounting brackets up here. Under here you can see a rail there and a rail there, so they must be where the mounting brackets go on to. Don't even know how high the mounting brackets are, so before I start chopping I need to eyeball the mounting brackets, and also instructions. Yes, I'm a man, but I want instructions. I haven't looked online yet for instructions. I thought, hey, why not open the tent? And I assume everything is in the tent, so because there's nothing in the box. So let's give it a go. Let's open this tent up. Oh. And yeah, see how it goes. Okay, this is a first, a world first, ladies and gentlemen. The King's Generation 3 Grand Tourer rooftop tent. Okay, I haven't seen this online, haven't seen it on YouTube. I've seen the tent itself, but isn't it exciting? It's exciting. Let's do it. Oh, there it goes. Woohoo! Look at that. Yeah, now that's what I'm talking about. Woo. So yes, everything is in the tent. We've got that. Oh, we've got a bag. I think there's a ladder in there. And there is some instructions, if I can reach. Come on, you can do it. Awesome. How exciting. Okay. Okay, so this is what we have extracted from the King's Grand Tourer aluminium rooftop tent. So it came with a manual, a spare fly screen netting, spare bit of fine, I think that's the fly material, and the tent material. So you got 3 patches there. Inside the tent is a mattress, but I'm really excited about the quality of it, to tell you the truth. I actually went to the showroom to have a look at it first before I bought it, and I basically got it. The recommended retail price is, I think, $2,500, $2.5 grand. I got it for $1,500, so $900 off. I think $15.99 I got it for. So you get your, these are your springs that hold out the awning. It actually has a fancy little awning that goes around, which will keep off light rain and help shade the tent. So when I first saw it, I thought it looked a little bit dicky, to tell you the truth, but it makes sense. So I'm excited to get it all up and show you. This is an extendable pole. It's called a safety pole that you put inside just in case those rams, what are they called? Just in case they fail. So that's what's in this bag. I can put these all back in. Set up instructions. And push the aluminium lid up. The gas struts, yes. So this here is there just in case the struts fail. Yeah, which is awesome. Great idea, Kings. And I was bagging Kings the other day because, like, they're everywhere. Their name's on everything. And someone just reminded me that, hey, if it wasn't for Kings, like, they've made this sort of stuff affordable. To buy a rooftop tent like that, another brand, you're looking at $3,000-4,000 and upwards. So there we go. What do we got here? So we got a bag with, I know there's a ladder in there. It's a heavy duty, it's actually made of poly ladder. Ta-da! There you go. And I'd say this is our brackets and so forth. And this is what I really wanted to have a look at, to see what I'm working with. Well, there you go. They're handles that go on the side of it. They're like locking plates, I think. Oh no, these are the plates. So the plate goes under your roof rack, like so. What's this? This is a ladder. That's a ladder bracket. And you're supposed to have two of them, I think. Or just one, is it? We'll make sure we've got everything. Ladder bracket times 2. So I've only got one. Oh, what a bummer. Now I have to go back to Brendale to get another one. Maybe they'll send me one out. Now if I wanted to, I could mount it like that. But it's going to be hanging off one side more than the other, and the weight is not going to be evenly distributed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide that across. I'm going to take that awning off here, and then I'm going to grind the brackets off this side as well. Most essential tool, milk crate. Sweet.
As.
Okay, so you can see where I've cut them off to bolt the thing on. So even though it weighs 90 kilos, if you lift it from a corner, it's still heavy, but it's not 90 kilos in the corner. So my idea is so what they do here, they got these little brackets. Your bolt fits through the bracket. It's got a channel there to stop it from twisting, and you put your bracket up. It fits in this groove up here. Get into the groove, girl, you got to prove your love to me. Yeah, there she is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put something under this side to lift it. I'm going to load them all up this side, and then I'll do the same over the other side. Hopefully by then the other side will be in shade. A brick with a bit of rag around it so it doesn't scratch. Maybe if I drag it out a little bit. And lift that up like so. Okay, so I want to have them in an approximate place. Now, before I go too far, I think I did want to cantilever this front part a little bit. Basically, so I've got a little bit of a shelf at the other end, because I've got an awning at this end. But I want a little shelf here, like so wide, so I can place a bucket on there. That can stay there. But I do want a shelf about that wide so I can place a bucket there, so I can go to the toilet in the middle of the night without climbing down the ladder, and somewhere outside the tent to store your bucket of wee. How's that sound? Yes! So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this tent for maybe 150 millimeters. That should be maybe 200 maximum. And that'll give me room if ever I need to attach anything up here. I think it's good to have a little bit, and I don't think, because this is our head end, and I think this is the bit that sort of worries me a little bit. How much can I safely cantilever, because there will be a lot of weight on this end, because once the roof tilts up, I guess 50% of the weight of it is going to be on this spine here. So I'm not sure whether it's safe to do so or not, but I guess if I set it up that way, and I think it's not correct, I can always change it. I can always put it back. It will be good to have a little shelf there to place your bucket of wee in the middle of the night. So what I'm going to do is slide these along a bit. So two are going to go roughly around here somewhere. Actually, if I set it up to drop it, they should slide it. When I slide it along, they should slide as well. Hopefully. I think I've got to pull it this way a little bit. Okay. Okay, we're resting on one of the bolts on its flat. I should be able to lever that up a little bit, move that bolt to where it's supposed to be. Yep, and down. It's awesome. Okay, so we might zoom in a little bit. Clean up your mess, Juddy. Fair dinkum, mate. What a minute. That was from my trip down to Mullumbimby. So I was surprised not to see any installation videos on YouTube. So I guess it's up to me to make one. That's right. I put the brick under there. And oh, far out. How did I do this? Like something like that. Yeah, so I need to put the brick on edge. Oh. So what I can do, oh look at that ding I put in the roof. I was taking the roof rack off the other day and it just fell on my roof. It was awful. Very traumatic experience. Okay, that's 6. 6 up there. So 2 here. 2 here. 2 there. And 2 here. We'll try that. See how we go. Okay, they're down, they're down. Get the hammer under here. Don't want to hurt our fingers. Actually, we'll put in like that. Okay. Yep, that's good. So my next project was to push it along. So it's counterlevered. Now I can see I'm going to get a bit of resistance from those brackets, but you never know your luck. Give it a bit of a wiggle. Oh, of course. So I should have got it in the right spot first. And that's why I make this video, because you guys are going to know to get it into position first. What's holding us back? That one there, eh? Look at that. How's that, folks? That's what I wanted. And that's given some room up on the back rack. So you can stand out there if you want. Now that's pretty strong construction. So we can still go forward a little bit. To there. That's it. That's our limit. That's awesome. That gives a fair fucking platform there, eh? Let's just bolt it off at that, and we'll just see how the car behaves with it like that. That gives me a platform at the back. I can stand in the middle of the night. I don't even have to go in a bucket, I just stand there and pee off the side. But it does give you a shelf to put your shoes, a bucket and so forth. I think that's a good idea. Hopefully the car responds well to it like that. Anyway, I've got to hang my sheets on the line. I'll be right back to bolt it up. Okay, I'm back. Now, the sun's out. I'm really not in shade. This is the only shady spot for me. So I put the hat on. I put a long sleeve shirt on to protect my skin. I'm a redhead. And I've decided to try out my new torso mount, which come in my little GoPro box that I bought for like $33 or something like that. Turned out to be $1 an attachment, which worked out great for me. So I've been using my headband. It works great. So now I've got my torso mount. We'll see what this angle looks like. I've got the tent in the position. I'd love to cantilever it above my windscreen to throw shade over my windscreen, which like I think would be great. However, I'm thinking of putting unnecessary strain on my gunnel rails, on the roof rack itself. I've got no doubt that the roof rack's strong enough to, especially with the reinforcement that's been welded on there. I'm not sure about the tent though, about cantilevering. I thought of ringing them up and I thought they're going to take the standpoint, no, it's best not to anyway. So I figure if I cantilever it, a foot, I guess you can't go wrong. Now the strut is over this mounting here, so a lot of the weight from the roof is going to go to this strut here and to here. So if you've got 2/3 supported, it's acceptable to cantilever 1/3. So I've done in my head just a little triangle here. So the weight's here. That's more than 2/3 there. So really there's only like a foot that's cantilevered, and I suspect that that's totally acceptable. So it's time to bolt it up. I'm only doing this because I couldn't find an instructional video, so how about just give it a go, mate. A Nylox nuts. You're not going to get it screwed on too far, and you'll have to do the rest with a socket, spanner or a wrench, depends what part of the world you come from. Let's continue. Now it's not going to be too easy to do this bit, so I don't know what I'm going to do here. That's going to be tricky, this one. So righty-tighty, I'm going to go up underneath, get the nut on there enough to wind it with my finger till it bites, and then I can continue with the ratchet. Even if I get the nut on there, no, I need to find another way to do this, and that could be to loosen the roof rack, lift the roof rack so I can get my hand under there. So if I at least do the front ones to stabilize it on there, and that way when I lift the roof rack it hasn't got a tendency to slide. While we can, let's get that done, and we'll loosen the roof rack lift so I can get my hands under there. Okay. So it's something to think about if you're ever planning on getting a rooftop tent, is the installation process. You got to think about the roof rack. With the inquiries I made the other day, and that was from Kings, they said the minimum they could do for something like this would be about $460, I think, for the roof rack. I decided it would be better just to chop this one. When you equate your time, how valuable your time is, I guess you need to put a monetary value on it. Because if I took this into my local four-wheel drive centre to get this installed, I'm thinking around $1,000. So you really, before you buy a rooftop tent, you need to add $1,000 to that rooftop tent to see if it's a feasible option. For me it is, because I can do this myself. Okay, so the normal socket ran out of room from the length of the bolt, so you might need tubular sockets if you're going to use the bolts that are supplied with the Kings rooftop tent. So it just fits under there. We're going to need a spanner or a wrench. A wrench, 13mm wrench. Now at least they're using good hardware. Look like stainless bolts and nuts, which is good. Even the fittings look good quality on the rooftop tent. This is the Mark III, so they've had a couple in the interim. Now I'm not going to over tighten them, but I do want them tight enough to stop this tent from moving when I lift the roof rack. So I'm going to have to do it one side at a time, because if I undo both sides at the same time, it's going to pop off out of the gunnel rails of my roof. Okay, so that's pretty tight. Nylock's nut, they shouldn't come undone. But I don't want to over tighten because, yeah, it's all alloy. So you got stainless into alloy. If I over tighten, I'm in danger of breaking this rail here, breaking the mount inside the rail. Not a good idea. So I guess I'll just check these intermittently. Is there? And there. Okay, I'm getting close. Like I can see, if you didn't do this right, you could easily break something. Okay, that's pretty tight. The funny thing, me saying that, I just blew the nylon out of the nut. So I might have to pull that off in the future and put some Loctite on it. Anyway, that's not going anywhere. I'm going to have to loosen these off. Now this is going to be tricky without putting a ding in my roof. Another one. I'm going to have to get that piece of timber, I think. My plan is to lift this side, the whole lot. I'm not going to be able to lift it on my own, so I'm going to have to lever it with something. If I put that along there. So I need to push. Oh! Oh! Now, take two. Okay, I can get my hand in there now. Just don't pinch your dick in the thing of the ladder, it hurts. Little workplace health and safety tip when you're wearing boxers. Now, this is where you have to trust yourself, because if that ladder moved and that crowbar fell, my wrists would be caught under here. I'd have to scream for help. My wrists would be stuck under there until someone came to save me. I'm reasonably confident that that crowbar is on that rung of the ladder. My ladder's secure, it's not going anywhere. Reasonably confident is better than potluck. Yeah, that's good. I'm happy with that. I guess the only other thing you'd have to worry about is, am I going to damage my gunnel rail on the other side by lifting this side without loosening the other side? I made that choice because I didn't want the other side to pop out of the gunnel rail. I didn't really put too much thought into it. It was basically just do it, Juddy. In saying that, if you do this, it's at your own risk. Now, it's still a bit tricky, but it's definitely doable. Get in there, mate. Take your time. That's it. Out with the trusty spanner. So all I'm doing is putting a little bit of pressure on that bracket so it sort of stays in the same spot, and then I'm just using the ring spanner and basically doing it blindfolded. That's how we do things in the automotive industry. A lot of things are blindfolded with a spanner. That's how it used to be done anyway. I don't see any reason why that should have changed. And this side's going to be a little bit more difficult. I'm going to have to go left-handed on this side. So yes, if you're ambidextrous, any sort of mechanical thing like this is right up your alley. If you've got patience, that is. If you haven't got patience, this is not for you. Certainly earning my beer today. By this afternoon, I am going to be like, yeah, baby, give it to me. I've got to go into town, get some dog food. So, it's going to be a late one today, unless, actually, with this tent tied on, I can drive into town, which might be the go. I'm pretty sure the nylon just stripped out of that one. So just be aware that not to over tighten. Okay, that's tight enough. I've got a little bit more room on this side to move, so I can actually spin it right around. This one's not going to take long at all. That'll do. Yeah, that's good. That's it. Okay. So she didn't actually want to sit down into it. However, once I tighten it down, it'll sit down, and then I'll do the same on the other side. So that's how I did this side. I'm not going to film the other side because of obvious reasons. It's going to make a long video even longer. So there you have it, guys. The King's Grand Touring Tent, Rooftop Tent, Mark III installation.